Alrighty, y'all. Hello and welcome back. Get your maps out for this one, or, well, maybe not, if you can even trust them. That is, we're getting lost in Europe. All right, starting out with Google Maps. I've heard Google Maps in Europe is honestly sketchy, right? There's a lot of map apps out there, right? You have Apple Maps as well. I'm not sure how that would fare. You have Waze. I'm sure there's plenty more. Those are like the three I think are most used and I always hear about and that I know of. But yeah, I could imagine if you are in basically any European city, especially as an American, it would be very overwhelming. I mean, everything's different, right? The signs, the way the streets are, it's not very grid-like like American cities are, right? I mean, everything's just older and more historic and different. And this is something we actually really haven't touched on much on this channel. So I think this episode would be rather interesting. And it doesn't really matter if you're walking, which of course you do a lot more of in European countries, or driving, right? Or maybe you're taking a train, maybe you're taking taxis, but like the point is you still have to find those, right? Even if you hop in a taxi, is where you're going a reasonable distance away, or is it super far, right? Is that even going to be your best option? Same with finding the trains, the train station, getting like the right train stuff, right? And being the right train card or ticket. And of course, being there on time, how often does the trains come? All these things, like it's a little bit intimidating. Like I really very much look forward to traveling throughout Europe, but honestly, I think the best plan might be sometimes to not even have a plan, just kind of go with the flow. And so like the best plan being just have a lot of time so you can kind of figure it out.
Comment section has been saying that we should try this place called Greg's while we're here in England. So it's about 12:30 in the morning, and we set out to find a 24-hour Greg's, and you guys look. So the sign clearly says they're open 24 hours, right? And
I thought that was pretty rare.
They're not open
in Europe.
We just took an Uber all the way over here at 12:30 in the morning for this 24-hour Greg's, and they're not open. So
okay, so what's that about? It actually said it was 24 hours. That they're at 1 in the morning. I would think on the surface, probably not the best idea, right, to try and expect to go to places at 1 a.m., especially in European countries. But okay, it said 24 hours, looks like it's not open. I wonder why there's that kind of discrepancy, but okay, let's see what happens.
We're gonna go find food somewhere else. So this very nice gentleman told us that the petrol station right next door is still open and they have food. So we're gonna walk next door and check it out and see what kind of food we can find. Okay, we're walking over to the gas station next door.
This is about the sketchiest thing we've ever done.
It really is, you guys. Is this safe? It's almost 1 in the morning and we're just kind of walking.
Path going through these streets.
I mean, keep in mind, that is American mindset right there. We are not used to walking around at 1 in the morning. Most people aren't even driving around at 1 in the morning, but I mean, at least you're in your car, right? Walking around at 1 a.m. is not your typical American experience. Usually people are pretty sketched out and don't do that. That could definitely be dangerous in U.S. cities.
How safe is this? Somebody who lives in England, should we be doing this? I don't know. We'll find out the hard way, I guess. So check it out. It's actually an electric charging station. This is cool. I don't think we even actually have these in America.
We do, but on a much smaller scale. These were pretty fancy looking. We have like Tesla super, like I think you can see them back there. I think those are like the Tesla supercharger style, which I think almost all EVs can use regardless of the brand. And then these are pretty fancy and they're all like lit up. They're actually kind of cool. So these exact charging stations I've never seen, but I have seen random charging stations. There's just usually 1 or 2 pumps. I know it's the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is kind of like a big fancy looking one that
charging station
usually don't see here. No,
we even actually have these in America.
We do, just not as nice as that.
Like this one also has a Greg's, so let's go see if this one's open. Well,
what is Greg's?
They're not open either. So now what? This place is open, so we're gonna try.
I've heard of this place.
I hope it's good. Come on, let's go find out. So I ended up getting a cheese and tomato.
Oh, it's open.
And it was actually really good. It's pretty much grilled cheese with tomato sauce on it. It was delicious.
Now, even coffee places, even your mainstream coffee places like Starbucks and, all those kind of places, I've never heard of those open into the night. That's pretty cool.
Delicious. I
even here in the U.S.
That's a good cheese toasty. Or as we call them in America, grilled cheese. What'd you get, Jared?
Sticky toffee bread It's the best food that I've eaten in the last 48 hours.
It was actually really delicious. It had this like caramel sauce on top and it has a filling inside. Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Delicious.
Yeah, it was actually very good. I tried to buy 2. And of course we have our low-calorie Sprite.
Low-calorie.
Sprite with the Euro cap.
Full-calorie sodas.
Love it.
Apparently not available in the UK, which is maybe not a bad thing.
It's interesting it says low
And
calorie,
these we don't have in
right?
America, so I wanted to try it. This is a lemon zero sugar Coca-Cola. It was actually really good. It's like Coke with just a hint of lemony flavor in it. It just makes it kind of
We don't have that.
And obviously, you know, a lot less sweet than the Cokes that we have in America, but A+. It was very good. I liked it.
That's pretty cool.
And this is another weird difference between the US and the UK that I've noticed. So here, all of the bottles that have a cap, the lids are attached.
Yep.
You can't remove that lid from the bottle. So in America, all of the caps can be completely removed.
Yeah.
Which, now that I think about it, this actually makes a lot more sense because
It does.
first of all, we don't lose the cap. And second of all, it says I'm attached so that they can be recycled together. That makes so much sense. So not only do we not lose the cap,
It is more
we can
useful.
also recycle it. A+ UK for being environmentally
Like, you kind of get
friendly.
used to
I
it,
have
and
to
it's,
agree with
I
Jerry
gotta
that
admit,
this
it's
is
kind of cool.
probably some of the best food that we've had since we've been here. So our 1 o'clock in the morning random gas station food is the best food that we've had so far. on
Now
this
that
trip.
sounds
If
sauce.
this
What?
isn't authentic, eating at a gas station at 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't know what is. This is the most authentic UK experience we could possibly have. Well, that was an adventure.
POV, the road to Switzerland is closed, so we circled this exit 10 times? What? Yo, look at all the signs. Holy smokes, is that overwhelming. It's nighttime, too. It always makes it a little more stressful, you could say. Yo, what the hell? Yeah, this would be so stressful as an American, especially if you don't know any of these languages. I mean, Switzerland, I always ask this. I apologize. Switzerland, you kind of have like, don't you have a mix of languages? Like, you'll see Swiss, you'll see Italian, you'll see like German. So like, oh my God, right? This would just be a mess for an American. Look at, I'm assuming this, they're not showing the whole route, but yeah, they're kind of like circling an exit over and over again. How embarrassing. Oh my God. A bad feeling. Smart as I'd like to think I am, I have a feeling something like this would happen to me eventually. Okay. This kid's in the middle of nowhere. The description says the middle of nowhere in Germany. He was following a rainbow, I guess. Now he is way far away from wherever he was going. I have to say it looks pretty beautiful countryside, though. Not a bad place to get lost at. Although it does look to be like the sun's getting kind of low. So, you know, I'm not a big fan of like rural night driving because, you know, wildlife and stuff like that. So hopefully he finds where he's going relatively quickly before it gets too dark. POV, I'm in charge of maps in European country. This is in Greece, by the way. So even walking directions, right? Still got to run into issues. Google Maps takes you right into a wall. That's a big wall. Yep, we can't go straight there. Doesn't work. People in the comments literally saying like, this is so real. It will literally take you right into a building or a wall, but it says like to keep going. And you're like, what the hell, bro? Google Maps, you have one job. How can you not get this right? The city's been around forever. The pilot said we land in Paris in 5 minutes, but where the F is it? Oh my God. Now, I'm not an expert, right? I haven't flown to France at all, you know, let alone a million times, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't look like France. Exactly, anyway. I think they're accidentally booked a flight to Paris, Texas, if you didn't know. There is a Paris in Texas. I've never been. Texas is a humongous state. But parts of Texas do look like this. And yeah, that just looks a lot more American, like rural countryside than I imagine France looking. You're in Paris, Texas. Bingo. Bro expected to see croissant-shaped buildings. You're not landing right next to the Eiffel Tower. Okay, now I'm a little confused. People say this is France. To me, it does look like Texas or like just U.S. farmland to me. Now, granted, I have no experience flying over France, so, right, you can't really take my word on this, but I could say it looks like parts of the U.S. Some people, a lot of people, I would say more people are saying, like, you went to Paris, Texas, blah, blah, blah. But then some people are saying you're seeing the countryside which I live, which is 1 hour away from Paris. Like, I'm so confused. Paris is actually... Paris is actually protected by a giant dome that hides it from the exterior, like Wakanda. People saying that like the airport is an hour away from Paris. What the hell? I am so confused. What is happening? The description doesn't say. Like, this concept has been done before. People have gone, like, wanted to go to Paris, France, and they actually ended up in Paris, Texas, right? I've heard of this before. So this is very plausible, even if this is a joke. But now I'm actually confused. Is this France or is this Texas? Y'all got to see if you can figure this out. The description does not tell you, right? So I'm not sure what to expect. This is straight up messing with my head. Like, I'm a little embarrassed that I don't know the actual answer here. This could be France, but it also could be Texas. I just don't know. I can't see any context clues good enough to, like, solidify, oh, that's Texas or that's France, right? Like, these buildings don't tell enough, right? The roads, you can't tell from up here. Can't see any cars. This is messing with my head, y'all. Us driving through a historic town in Italy as we unknowingly got a ticket for driving on limited traffic roads. See, oh my God, look at the cars. Look at the people. Oh, that sketches me out, man. It's so cool, but it's so like, just, this is not a driving experience you ever have in the US. And as someone who's a careful and confident driver, this still freaks me out. And it's raining too, so why not, right? Like driving, squeezing between cars and historic buildings and walls and stuff while there's people walking in that space. Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience doing that. I don't have any experience doing that. What's also crazy is you can get ticketed. We've seen this before. Americans being ticketed on like limited traffic roads that were basically closed or whatever, and they drove through it. That sounds crazy. Like, it sounds like it makes sense, but it just sounds like as someone from the outside, it doesn't make sense because you don't know what to look out for and when these roads are supposed to be open and not open. It sounds confusing, and without knowing exactly how it works, I feel like this could happen to a lot of people. Getting ticketed and you're like, oh crap, dude, like I didn't even mean to do something wrong. When GPS takes you on a historical road in Italy again, look at this. I mean, how are you supposed to think? Like, here's an American point of view. How am I supposed to think this is a road when there's literally 500 people walking on it in front of me? That makes me think instantly, hell no, this is not a road. This is a pedestrian road. It's not a road for cars, right? I would instantly be like, okay, hell no, I am in the wrong place. What do I do? How do I back out of here? I would be like internally freaking out a little bit, you know? People giving you looks like this guy's like, is that a fucking car behind me? What the hell is he doing? When both you and your brother are both directionally challenged and get lost in a random field in Europe. A lot of these getting lost not only in cities but in rural areas. Now, sadly, they don't say where it is, and there's no comments. I think that guy might have no arms, by the way, unless he has them tucked into his shirt. I'm not sure, but regardless, they're in a beautiful countryside. And there's something about this that's a little less stressful, right? Again, as long as you're near somewhere where you could get shelter and food and water eventually, I feel like, you know, being lost in a field like this, especially during, you know, broad daylight, that looks pretty cool. Much better than the fields like around me. Like this is not a bad place to be lost.
Driving into Cartagena, Spain, and I know there's a parking lot. It's a Sunday. Traffic's ridiculous. I can't find a parking spot, so I put a new location on my map where I want to go. Well, Google Maps in Spain is just so wrong. I'm driving through what appears to be just a restaurant.
Oh,
jeez. There's people everywhere, and I have to push my minivan through, or my SUV through. I see a sign that I'm pretty sure says residents only. That it's just like, it's not a road for normal people. But then, lo and behold, I have to get out, and there's a big free parking lot. So I'm driving into Cartagena, Spain, and I know there's a parking lot. It's a Sunday.
He found the parking lot?
Free parking lot.
So I guess that turned out okay. Is that what I'm gathering here?
Not.
But did he drive through a pedestrian area again? It sounds like he did. feel like this happens a lot. And I bet it happens to a lot of tourists, but definitely no shortage of Americans being the culprits here, I'm sure.
This isn't the London Eye. Where am I, dude? Hey, brah, where am I? Hey, why do you sound like that, fam? Oh, it's because I'm American. I don't care, suck your mum.
What?
My mom? That's kind of weird. Hey, where am I? I believe this guy is trying to move to me, you know. Move to you? I don't even know what that means. I just want to know where I am. I hear my man Bear trying to get my snap on that, you know. Oh my days. 500 screenshots and I'll punch him up. Punch me up? You're a chick. What are you gonna do? I'll give you a wedgie. Hey, what'd you just say? Alright, but don't cry if I hurt you.
Oh, hell no.
Brother, are you dumb? What the hell is this place? Welcome to Pecknam Beach. Dice roll.
Yo, I bet that's pretty accurate. It depends on where you're at. Apparently in South London. I'll have to remember that. Yo, I would be so lost with some of the accents, man, and the slang. Like, that's amazing to me that is, well, English, right? Like, we speak just so different over here. I wouldn't understand half of that. Which is, like, awesome, like, fascinating, but also intimidating. If you're from the outside, like, what the hell is he saying? Day 10 of European summer. What is happening? They don't look too well. Oh. Okay. And they lost their luggage. So someone went to the hospital and they lost their luggage. Traveling isn't always as glorious as the TikToks and the Instagram make it seem. Hey, we could say at least one thing. I'm sure she was cared for and brought back to health, and it won't cost her, $100,000. So that's a silver lining, right? POV, you have a tour to go to, but you're using Google Maps in Europe. Oh my God. They have no idea where they're going. Look at this. I mean, by the way, this is so aesthetic, right? Like, it's like this narrow, again, like pedestrian road. This kind of setup you just don't see very often at all here. You have these shops, you have these historic buildings. It's really cool, this setup here. And I know this is common in European cities. It's just not that common here. I mean, even look at the floor, man, how cool it is. But I can see being, like, lost so easily in places like this, right? Because not that it actually does look the same, but as a foreigner, right? Everything's going to look like the same. And, you don't even know where you're going is supposed to look like, probably, in the whole setting, right? Because pictures don't really work. Like, a picture on Google Maps isn't going to tell you much when your surroundings look like this. I could just see this being a nightmare. Using Google Maps, like, while you're walking. This is supposedly in Dubrovnik. POV, you're lost in Germany and no one speaks English. I mean, I know people speak different languages in a lot of European countries. It is what it is, right? I feel like you got to try and learn some basics. And then again, just try your best to be on top of things, be respectful. And I'm sure someone, especially in Germany, it's a kind of an odd one to pick out here because I feel like a decent amount of people in Germany and kind of surrounding countries will speak, someone will speak English somewhere, right? You just got to try and find it out. I feel like you could have picked other countries in Europe where this would be a lot more of a problem for them, right? I feel like in Germany, a decent amount of people know some English. So this is kind of like a weird one. Google Maps just drive onto the train. Excuse me? What? First of all, holy smokes. Is this absolutely incredible, this scenery, or this landscape, right? It looks to be in Switzerland. You can see the awesome Swiss plate there on this beautiful Porsche. Damn. Me, this can't be right. Yeah, I would definitely be like, this isn't right. What is this? Now, I've seen cars pull on ferries and stuff. What is this? He is literally behind a Porsche on a skinny-ass train going through the mountains? What? Wow, so there's no mountain road? You have to go on a train to go through it? We made it. Trust the process. I mean, look at the reward. Look at this beautiful, curvy mountain road you get to drive on. Oh, my God. on the train, put the handbrake on. Thank God they had some part of it in English for these travelers here. That is crazy. This is super cool, by the way. Again, this is something I've never experienced here. I probably would never experience. I mean, yeah, you might find tunnels through mountains you can drive through, but not like this kind of setup. I would be definitely a little nervous at first because this looks like really narrow too. And you're like right behind a Porsche too. Like make sure your car doesn't roll. Assuming you're in a rental car and this is, maybe a stick shift, a manual, right? Got to make sure everything's in order. This instead of highways, but much faster. I mean, I suppose it could be faster if it's going through like a long distance to get in between these, otherwise impassable mountains. I suppose it could be faster. The Porsche GT3, that's a GT3. I don't know how to tell them apart when it comes to the newer ones. It's definitely a Porsche. If it's a GT3, I mean, damn, that's like hella freaking nice. Everything I lost while vacation in Europe. Well, on vacation in Europe. Oh my God, no way. Yo, what? Credit card and debit card? Oh my God. I understand like let's think about it, right? There is such a thing as when you travel, especially far away, maybe for some people, or I would say probably most people, there's a little bit of like a lingering, like very faint, it's not bad, but like a faint little maybe anxiety or a little bit nervousness, right? You're somewhere new and maybe you're not on the absolute top of your game, right? You're always trying to keep track of stuff, your wallet, your jewelry, your clothes, your family, whatever it is, right? There's different things you got to keep track of, your passport, your documents, all this stuff. So there's a tiny bit of pressure that comes with that, right? And I could see people, people lose stuff all the time, right? You can lose things here and there. I'm sure it happens to many people, but, I've lost things. I've lost like toothbrushes and socks and stuff when I've traveled, but I mean, losing all your jewelry and your debit card and your credit card? Holy shit. I'm sorry, but maybe traveling you're not ready for. And your sunglasses too.
Airport. So Brisbane, and then an N for no.
Oh, this is an Aussie girl.
Okay, Brisbane Airport. Not some Can you send me a track? I don't have something, but don't worry. Okay? So it will come to Brisbane. I don't know. I have to find it. Okay?
Oh, this sucks.
You'll tell me. Thank you. Bye-bye. So you'll send me. I have to find a flight. Okay. I can text you an email. I write on your email the flights and date. Okay? Okay, thank you. Brisbane Airport.
That's it.
Brisbane.
Good luck. Of course, they say in Europe, the description says Europe, literally. So we don't know what happened here, but losing your baggage at an airport or whatever would suck, man. Especially since sometimes it's not even your fault, right? It's beyond your control. Someone actually mentions that that's not going to work. They need to have Brisbane Airport, but Brisbane's in Australia. They need to have Brisbane Airport make contact for you. At airports, we have a World Tracer program. I don't know why you're sorting it out yourself because you'll never get it back that way. Damn. Rough but true. You're not spinning like a malfunctioning Roomba at least once per trip. Are you even navigating Europe properly? That looks very pretty where they're at. This is tagged in Vienna, so hopefully that is really, really cool, actually. Of course, very confusing for the American mind. This is why you go to European cities, right? And you're walking everywhere. Plus, you're getting lost. You're spinning around. You're going here. You're circling around again. I mean, you are bound to be healthier and lose weight in Europe. I mean, let's just get real. I mean, this is why.
Relaxed with my trip because now I've lost my car.
Oh my
what
God.
I thought was a free public car park.
Yikes.
But I did leave it here for 4 days. I'm just hoping that it's towed and no one stole it. I'll keep you updated.
Wow.
My car's not here. And there's like police tape blocking the entrance of where I parked it. and some signs that say Tour de France on them.
What? No way.
So hopefully they towed it and no one stole it because it's not here. So I'm just waiting for the cops now.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
I'll let you know what happens.
I want to know what happens.
Taking my bags off. Apparently the Spanish police are known for being quite slow. It's been about an hour now. Oh my God, I'm in Spain and I lost my car.
Yikes. The laughing sets in. After stress eating for a while, I skipped through that. And we don't know. Okay, we don't know what happened. Awesome. You gotta, I feel like, how could this have been prevented? Maybe you have to check if you're leaving a car somewhere for, more than a day, especially. You got to make sure it's somewhere that is legit, long-term parking, right? Of course, a lot of places aren't like that. So you got to make sure you are at a place that does accept that. Maybe that was where she messed up. Or maybe she was checked and she was in a good, car park where you can leave it there for a while. Maybe someone did steal it. I'm not exactly sure. I'm leaning towards probably not, though. It probably got towed. Driving in Europe, be like, yeah. God, these just blow my mind, man. Again, like you are trying to find a way. You turn on a road and it's this narrow. I can't stress enough how much this doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you are in a smaller car, presumably, and your mirrors are freaking folded in. And you're clearing this by hairs. Hairs, literally. Oh, my God. Yo, that stresses me out so much. All right.
First impressions.
Last one. Let's see. First time in Ireland. Here we go.
Good. She hasn't hit anything. Sure.
It's been like 2 seconds.
I know. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. That's why you haven't hit anything, because we just made it out.
Sense a little nervousness.
The steering wheel is like.
What kind of car is that?
Super small.
Yeah.
That
super
logo.
Small. We had.
She's in a right-hand drive car.
Bus man and his accent.
Driving on the opposite side.
It was so strong.
90 meters.
Looks like you're very much average Irish man.
Towards road, then turn right.
Okay, guys, first impressions.
Well, best of luck in their travels. And best of luck with the maps, the navigation. I hope it takes them where they're supposed to go on roads that aren't sketchy or closed. I will say, I have to agree with this comment. Just glad they were able to give you an automatic. I didn't even notice that, or think of that rather. They are in an automatic, and from what I've heard, that's pretty rare. It's not like here where literally you can't even rent manuals in the U.S. Every 100% of rental cars from any rental agency is always going to be an automatic here. Whereas it's basically the opposite. Automatics are pretty rare in most European countries when it comes to rental cars, from what I've heard. I traveled solo and rented a car there, drove the entire island, about 1,500 miles over 9 days. Wow, that sounds pretty impressive. 1,500 miles sounds kind of like more than I would have thought, right? I mean, you are driving the whole island, but that's pretty cool. My hands may have never recovered from the grip of fear on the steering wheel. Yeah, and people might be laughing watching this, but again, driving a right-hand drive car and then you're on the other side of the road, it feels like, as a car guy, it feels like something I want to do because curiosity, right? It sounds like it'd be kind of fun. It would also be extremely nerve-wracking as well. It's that combined with once you start being around traffic that knows what they're doing and you don't, different traffic signs, different patterns, rules. Yeah, when it all comes together in a whole big driving salad, it gets a little more stressful. And of course, pro tip, pay for the full coverage. We learned the hard way. Yeah, I don't think there's ever a more legitimate time to pay for rental coverage or insurance on the car than that. If you're in a different country, especially a country that you're driving on the opposite side of where you're used to, I feel like that's worth every cent. Because you might make a mistake, and it might be a mistake that involves some bent metal. That was a lot of fun. There's more of these. I will save those for next time, perhaps. Those were some tourists in general, not all Americans, but mostly Americans stuck, or well, lost, I should say, in the vast European continents. You also tell me in the comments any funny stories, anecdotes when you were lost or someone you knew were lost. It could be anywhere, right? I think those are always fun. I look forward to reading that. And of course, yeah, this was funny. It went exactly kind of how I expected it to be. Quite a few scenarios where people were lost abroad. I appreciate you watching. And that being said, y'all, my name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, catch you later.